Okay, guys, we will start with the presentation. Okay, so today we are going to learn on how to rank your WordPress website on Google first page. Okay, so first I'll explain the fundamentals to you, then we will see the practical part as well. Okay, so guys, if you want to rank your WordPress website on the first page, what guidelines you need to keep in mind? Okay, the first thing is site speed and performance optimization. Okay, then this is very important part you have to consider. Then now what guidelines will you follow to speed up your website? Okay, the first thing is you have to use a content delivery network. Okay, then you have to move your website to a better host. Okay, then you have to optimize the images on your website. Okay, reduce the number of plugins. Then you have to minimize the number of JavaScript and CSS files, use website caching, then implement Gzip compression, then you have to optimize the database in CMS. Okay, now let's do the practicals. How are you going to do this? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll open Google here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll open Google Page Speed Insights. Page Speed Insights. Okay, so we'll take an example for Facebook. Take this connected commute. So I'll copy this URL here. Okay, so click on Page Speed Insights. Okay, so we are on Google Page Speed Insights. Okay, so I'll input the URL here and I'll click on Analyze. I request everyone, please make notes. This will help you. So with Google Page Speed Insights, what happens is you get the score for your performance on desktop as well as for mobile. Okay, so ideally now here are two components. One is mobile, one is desktop. For desktop, the score is 31 out of 100. Okay, so this is pretty poor. So ideally what happens is you have to have a score of 90 out of 100. Okay, so if you click on the opportunities tab, these suggestions can help your page load faster. They do not directly affect the performance score. Okay, so they tell you what opportunities you have to improve the performance. Reduce unused JavaScript, defer offline images, serve images in next-gen format, reduce unused CSS, eliminate render blocking, resources, properly size images. Okay, so Google will give you a list of recommendations which you can use to improve the performance of a website and you can improve the score. Okay, so what happens is ideally whenever you create any landing page or a website or index page, you have to see the score for your desktop and mobile to check the loading page speed as well. Okay, so this is desktop and this is mobile. For mobile it is 16 out of 100. So ideally what happens is, your score should be 90 for mobile and 90 for desktop. So if I scroll down here, okay, so what happens is I show you what opportunities Google gives me to improve my score. Okay, so these are the number of opportunities to improve this score. So we have to implement this and definitely can improve your score to 90 out of 100. So in the eyes of Google, if your score is 90 for desktop and 90 for mobile, what happens is definitely your page and your landing page or website will load pretty quickly and Google gives you a good report for your website. Okay, this score is 90. That means the loading speed is pretty quick. So this is how you can improve the performance as well as the user experience for your landing page or for your website. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Okay, so here what happens is it tells you, okay, Now we'll discuss about cache. What is cache? A temporary storage area that holds the most recently downloaded web pages. Okay, so guys, you have to keep this logic. Okay, so let's say for example Naveen is based in UK or anybody is based in UK. Your website is being based in UK. If you're hosting website in UK, okay, so what you have to do is you have to ping the server in UK so that the site loads faster. Okay, so in that way you can improve the user experience. So let me give you an example for this. How are you going to do it? Okay, so let's say I'll open Pingdom tool. Okay, so I'll click here. Okay, this is called as Pingdom tool, right? So this is one Pingdom tool. I open free tool. So there are a lot of servers here. Okay, so for example, I'm going to test from Europe, United Kingdom, London. Okay, from this server, I'm going to test my website. Okay, so let's say I'm assuming that my site is being hosted in UK, so I'm going to test from United Kingdom, London. Click on Start Test. So guys, when you're doing your SEO for your website or your landing page, these things you need to keep in mind. Okay. I'll scroll down here. See, now I have got the score here. See, my performance grade is 61. My page size is 6 MB. My load time is 3.65 seconds, and I have received 124 requests. So ideally, from if I'm testing from the UK server, it is giving me 3.65 seconds. So ideally, your website should load within 1.5 seconds. So scope for improvement is there to improve your website along with your landing page, as well as you have to improve speed for your website. Okay, yeah. So guys, this will definitely help you out. Now, what plugins you are going to use? Like, for example, there are a lot of other components that needs to be taken into consideration for your WordPress website. So ideally, if you're making a website in WordPress, what things will you keep in mind? First, there are plugins out there. Okay, so first plugin is WP Rocket. This is the best caching plugin, which is always used to optimize the speeding performance of your WordPress site or your blog. So guys, I suggest that you should try out this plugins on your own website. Okay. So in my later sessions, I can tell you how to use this plugins, but today we will discuss the fundamentals. And second plugin is RetroPack. This is designed to get you massive speed, okay, which can give you a big boost effortlessly. Okay. Now my third plugin is WP Fast Cache. So what happens is if you are going to use this plugin, mode underscore rewrite. Okay. So if you're using this plugin with mode underscore rewrite, this is one of the quickest way you can use, as well as all the cache files are deleted when a post or page is published. Okay, so guys, please try this plugins. Okay, now next one is WC Total Cache. So with this plugin, you can improve your search engine optimization as well as your user experience of a website, which helps to improve your website performance, and thus it reduces load time by leveraging features. Okay, and the last one is WP Smush.it. So guys, you have to install this plugins on your WordPress platform. So what will this plugin do is this will actually help you to optimize images. It will turn on easy load, resize, compress, and improve your Google page speed with the powerful and image smasher. So how are you going to do it? Let me give an example here. Okay, so I have opened this WordPress dashboard. Okay, Yeah. So if I open this WordPress dashboard here, so I'm going to click on the tabs of plugins here. Okay. So for example, I click on add new plugin. So how are you going to set up this plugin here? So, okay, here you'll have an option of search plugins. Okay. So for example, we'll search for WP Rocket. Okay. Guys, I request that you please keep yourself in the mute mode because this will disturb this session. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to search for the plugin over here. You have to set it up. That's it. This is pretty simple. This is how you can do. But if you're using a WordPress website, so ideally you will need all these kind of plugins. Okay. To improve the loading speed. Now, the second factor which you need to pay a lot of attention is your technical search engine optimization. Give me a second, please. It's very important that you need to make sure that Google has to crawl your website. So, what are the most important factors for technical SEO? Okay, the first factor which is very important for your technical SEO is sitemap.xml file. Okay, so what is XML sitemap? Basically, this is a file, okay, that will list the most important pages of your website, making sure Google can find and crawl them. Okay, so it will assist the search engine to understand your website structure. Okay, so you want Google to crawl every essential page of your website. Okay, so you have to create sitemap.xml file. Okay, guys, once you create a sitemap.xml file, then what you have to do is you have to submit this file to Google Search Console. So what you can do is I'll give you a live example here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to Google. Okay, so go to google.com, type XML simple sitemap generator tool. Okay, so I'll click on this URL here. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll take an example as streetroot.com. Okay. I'll copy this URL over here. Okay. Then I click on start. See, this tool will actually help you create XML sitemap. So it is telling me 27, 28 pages scanned. Okay. 30 added, 9 queued. Just wait for few seconds. So with the help of this tool, sitemap.xml file will be generated, and once your XML file is generated, okay, so then you can submit it to Google Search Console so that Google will have the information about all the pages of your website. Okay, guys, so this is pretty simple. Yeah, so because there are almost close to 400 pages on the website, so it might take some time to create the sitemap.xml file. Okay, so we'll move further. Okay, now after you create your Sitemap.xml file, what is the most important factors for SEO? It is your title and meta descriptions. Now, guys, you might be wondering what are the best practices to write effective metadata. Okay, so first thing is you have to keep it concise. Your meta titles needs to be short, but it should be very precise. Ideally, Google will display the first 50 to 60 characters of title tag. Okay, so in your meta title and in your meta description, you have to integrate the focus keyword. Then you have to include a call to action. Then what you have to do is your meta title and meta description needs to match to the content of your landing page or your index page. So this is very important factor which needs to be taken into consideration. Okay, so whatever meta title and meta description you guys are creating, make sure it should correlate to the content of your landing page and make sure that they are unique. So let me give an example here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll open google.com /preferences. Yeah, so I scroll down here, I click on show more. So I'll show you one example here. I click on United Arab Emirates. So we will see the results of Google UAE. Right? So I'll type as school bus tracking system. Okay, so guys, now I'm giving you a live example of meta title and meta description. Okay, so our target keyword is school bus tracking system. So what we have done is we have integrated the focus keyword in the title here. This is school bus tracking system. Yeah. Then what we have done is we have also integrated the focus keyword in the description. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll open this page for you guys. Okay. See, I'll open this page. Then I'll right click. I'll click on view page source. Okay. Then I click on title here. Okay, so what you can see here, see, basically it says meta property title content is equal to school bus tracking system. This is the focus keyword here, right? Okay, then we have also integrated the focus keyword in the meta description. Okay, see here it is. If I'll just highlight this part, this is school bus tracking system. Then we have integrated the call to action here, free demo, right? So this is how you have to create your meta title and meta description. Okay guys, I hope this is clear. Then what you have to do is the most important file when you are doing the search engine optimization for your website, that's file called as robot.txt file. Now guys, you might be wondering what is robot.txt file. Okay, so robot.txt file will actually tell the search engine crawlers which URL the crawler can access on your website. Okay, so this is the key functionality of robot.txt file. Okay, where you tell the crawler which files to allow and which files to disallow. Okay, so I give an example here. For example, so user agent, I have kept it as tarmac. I want to allow all the files which are in WP content uploads. Then I want to disallow all the files which are in WP content plugins. I want to disallow WP admin. Then I want to allow sitemap file because I want that robot.txt file should actually have access to my sitemap. Okay, so this is something important, right? So what I'll do is, see, I'll open this file here. I'll say as people.com/robots. Every website has a robot.txt file. Robot.txt file. See, here we have told robot that please access all the pages of website. Okay, and we have given in the sitemap. Okay, p2.com/sitemap.xml file. So we have given complete access to robot to have the complete control of all the pages of our website. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to create the robot.txt file. Okay, then you can upload it to your FTP folder. Definitely Google will have access to that file, and definitely robots will get instructions. Okay, we'll move to the next slide. Okay, so guys, this is something important here. Now you have to check all your redirects. There are two type of redirects here. One is called as permanent redirect. The second is called as temporary redirect. So what is permanent redirect? This is basically called as 301 redirect. So basically 301 redirect, this is a permanent redirect that actually passes full link equity. What is link equity? This is ranking power to the redirected page. Okay, so 301 refers to the HTTP status code for any type of redirect. So what happens is in most instances, the 301 redirect is one of the finest method for implementing redirects on your website. So I will give you a live example. How are you going to implement 301 redirect? Okay. So before I give you a live example, let's try to understand the fundamentals of temporary redirects. Okay. So in temporary redirects, okay, so you have HTTP 307 redirect status response code. Okay. What does this mean? This means that the resources requested has been temporarily moved to the URL given by the location headers. This method and the body of the original request are reused to perform the redirected request. Okay, guys. So now I'll take you to Google Search Console. Okay, so I'll take you to Search Console here. I'll scroll down on coverage. Okay, sure. See, so now I'll show you a live example. See, submitted URL 404 error. We did find here, right? But we have definitely to fix this. So let me give an example here. So I open freetool.com/blog. Okay. So what happens is, let's say for example, this is my redirect URL. Okay. So I open here. Now what I want to do is, if I type a wrong URL here, I say GPS and remove enables. Okay. So what error you are getting? You're getting this page could not be found. Okay. So what I will do is, I will give a permanent redirect. See now, if any user, this is the correct URL. Okay. So this why GPS enables full transport tracking software is booming. So I will do is, I will give a permanent redirect to the wrong URL. Okay. So this is the correct URL. And okay. So let me give an example here. This is the correct URL. Okay, and this is the wrong URL. Okay, so what you have to do is, you have to give a permanent 301 redirect to the wrong URL. Okay, okay. So the correct URL should be, if any user who is going to the wrong URL, from wrong URL, he has to be given a redirect to the correct URL. Okay, so this is the logic of using 301 redirect. Right. Okay, so now we'll move a bit fast. Now, if you want to implement schema markup on a website, so what you have to do is, you have to go to Google Structure Data Markup Helper. Then you have to select the type of data that you plan to markup. Okay. Then what you have to do is, you have to paste in the URL of the page or article you want to markup. Then what you have to do is, then you have to highlight and select the type of elements to be marked on. Then you have to keep on consistently adding the markup items and create the HTML file. Okay, guys. So this is pretty easy to understand. So I'm going to share the presentation deck with you guys. So what you have to do is you just have to go to Google Structured Data Markup Helper. Okay, input the URL and definitely select the element, and Google will display the HTML. Okay, if the code will be displayed, that code you have to copy on your website. Okay. Now, it's important that you have to have a secure website. Okay, so you need to implement SSL certificate on a website. So how are you going to implement that? So basically, all website with the actual syntax of HTTPS. There are two types of website. One is called HTTP and second is called HTTPS. So if all website which is having the protocol of HTTPS, that's a secure website. That means you have to offer SSL certificate. So how are you going to implement that? Basically, you have to go to the website and domain tab. Okay. So in the section of the domain tab, you have to click on show more, click on hosting settings. Then in the security section, you have to select SSL support. Then you have to select the certificate which you have created, click on OK. So basically, this is how you can implement the SSL certificate. So I can tell you in details in my next meetings. Basically, you have to have the SSL certificate for your website. Okay. So guys, if you want to have a website, okay, so you need these plugins: all-in-one SEO, Yoast SEO, SEO Press, Schema Pro, Rank Math, really simple SSL. Okay. Then you have to implement AMP for WP. AMP for WP. Okay. Yeah. So you have to implement these plugins. Yeah. Okay, guys. Then if you have implemented your on-page SEO, you have implemented your technical SEO, off-page SEO, then what you have to do is, after implementing all the factors into consideration, then you have to implement content marketing so that you start getting traffic on your website. Okay. Then what you have to do is you have to offer lead magnets with your Facebook ads. Then you have to insert content upgrades. Then you can use guest blogging, webinar collaborations. You can use quizzes and surveys. Then with the help of long tail SEO, definitely you can start targeting long-tail keywords with your content marketing strategies. Keep on upgrading your landing pages, okay, while doing the A/B testing process. Okay. Then you have to publish consistently high quality content on LinkedIn. So what happens is LinkedIn will start giving you targeted traffic on your platform, right? Okay. Now, guys, you might be wondering, how are you going to implement this? What plugins are actually required? Okay. So you can use subscribers. Okay. So you can add this plugin. Okay. Then you will have to use Hello Bar, Grammarly, and share accounts. Okay, so I've already explained the process to you how to add a new plugin on your WordPress dashboard. So guys, make sure you add these plugins. Yeah. Okay. So as we discussed the security, now if you want to implement security, there are two kinds of plugins here. One is security and WordFence. So guys, I suggest that you install those plugins on your platform. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for your valuable time. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat box. I just stopped sharing my screen right now.